Hello, I'm sitting with Christian Birmingham at North End Printers up in Sheffield as we're going to run the print for Wuthering Heights, which is the latest limited edition book that we've done with Christian. I think we've worked together for about 12 years now. We've done so many books with the Snow Queen and things like that with you. You started your illustration going to college at Exeter University.
Exeter College of Art and Design, as was separate to the university.
Right.
But a good provincial art college.
Yes, and I think I'm right in saying your first book was The Night Before Christmas. Is that correct?
One of the first colour ones. There are a couple of picture books before those, children's picture books for younger children. The Magical Bicycle and some early Michael Morpurgo things I did as well. But Night Before Christmas was the first big seller.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that you've done a lot of Hans Christian Andersen over the time. Wuthering Heights is a little bit of a step away from that type of book. Yeah. What attracted you to Wuthering Heights?
Well, I think it's partly that difference. The Andersen fairy tales, which is that's the sort of idiom of fairy tales I've done. I haven't done any Grimm fairy tales yet.
So you've got a ladybird. You've got a ladybird, obviously a big fan of Christian with him.
The difference between the sort of Andersen fairy tales I've done and something like Wuthering Heights is one reason for doing it. Grimm fairy tales are darker, particularly the original ones, more sort of violent and gothic.
Yes.
But this subject has a real full tonal range. It
very
goes from
passionate.
bright to dark.
Yeah, very passionate.
Yep.
Working like you do, you sort of committed to pastel and pencil. Why did you choose those mediums to do your illustrations?
The problem I have with paint is I'm not a natural painter for a start. I think it's a different way of working. It's I suppose in the equivalent in musical terms would be you either play string instruments or keyboards, for instance, or brass.
Yes.
They're different ways of doing the same thing. But with painting, I'm not sort of organised enough really to keep the colours clean. You know, I think in theory you're supposed to have, for oil painting and probably for watercolours as well, you're supposed to have, say, a dozen brushes, and you use different brushes for different primary colours and so on, and you keep them all washed and clean, and that way you get pure colour, whereas I just tended to end up with one brush full of grey-brown
with a brown paint. Yeah.
So with chalk, you can, if you need to go from this green colour to the pure blue, you can just pick up the sky blue you need. You don't have to wash your brushes out, clean everything, and also it's really it's a really forgiving medium in terms of correcting things.
Right.
So I envy people who get the majority of what they draw or paint right first time. I probably keep about 10-15% of the first drawing I do, and the rest of it is correction.
Right.
So it's 15-20% drawing and 80% correction.
Yes.
But so pastel is a really good medium for that, and pencil, of course, is likewise. It's very rub-outable.
Which one do you prefer, pastel or pencil? Do you have a preference?
I used to prefer pencil. I think only because the colour stuff is much more complicated, because you're having to deal with tone.
Dimension. Yes.
Yeah, you're having to deal with tone and colour, whereas with the pencil stuff you're just dealing with tone, so that simplifies it. I also like the ways of getting round issues, tonal issues with pencil stuff, like if you're drawing snow, I tend to work the picture so that the snow will just be plain paper. And if say there's snow falling,
it's what you leave out. Yes.
Yeah, and I like the idea of effectively if there are snowflakes falling, I will draw lots of little faint circles and draw around them, rather than using white paint to sort of paint them in.
Yeah.
Which would be easier, but the effect is more. I think it shows when you've taken the extra time to do the detail. but I love the chalk stuff equally now. I'm
Yeah.
less now that I've had what would it be, about 30 years
Must
practice
be,
drawing. 35 probably.
Still a young man though, Christian.
Well, I'm getting to the stage now where I kind of feel like I've done my apprenticeship of
Yeah.
learning to draw,
Yes.
and I can actually start putting it into practice. But it's you know, you never finish learning to draw.
One thing I want to mention, you know, talking about colour as being like another dimension.
Yeah.
Of course, with Wuthering Heights, you're going to be working in another dimension because you're doing 2 bronze
Figures.
sculptures
Yeah, yeah.
of Cathy and Heathcliff for
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
How is it a complete departure to be working in a 3rd dimension and getting your hands dirty with clay?
Not really. I'm used to having dirty hands with pastels, so that's not
it's
so
a
much
dirty
of a
job.
change. It is, but it's surprising actually how similar the procedure is. You're effectively you're trying to get something to look how you think it ought to.
Yes.
The difference, of course, with sculpture is it has to work from an infinite number of angles.
Yes.
So whereas with drawing, you've just got to get it to look right from one angle.
Yes.
You can often find well, you always find with 3D work that you get it right from one angle and you turn it sideways and it's
It's
not right.
a little bit out.
Yeah,
Yes, it's a,
so it's the same process of correction, but
yes.
more and more
Yeah.
and more and more. But it's a lovely. There's something powerful about a figure. I haven't done anything on a large scale, but having seen Vivian Malloch's stuff, which is life size, there's a real presence to a life size
It
figure.
really does. Yeah.
But equally, at a small scale, there's just something intrinsically powerful about a figure. You know, you relate to another person. So
Yes.
seeing it in 3 dimensions is even more powerful.
Yeah.
It's great fun to do.
Well, Christian, it's going to be great having you with us at the Buxton Fair, which is the 18th to the 21st of May. We're going to have the majority of your Wuthering Heights artwork up there, and of course Cathy and Heathcliff will be on show. I hope you're looking forward to meeting some of the people.
Yeah.
We hope you'll come and join us. Thank you.